What's up, Warriors fans? Welcome to Warriors Latest. As always, I am your host, Max Arizin. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoy the show, as I do post new Warriors videos daily. Now, it's been an interesting day in Dub Nation because we both learned that Jonathan Kuminga just got a new contract offer, and yet it's still not good enough. Now, the contract itself, it's 3 years, $75 million, with that third year being a team option. And I'm still trying to understand what he's waiting for. He's not going to get a better offer than this because you look at the previous offer, 2 years, $45 million. He just got an extra $30 million on top of that. So I'm wondering, where is he going with this? Because I don't see it. He's a great player who deserves good money, but he's getting the same per year value as Josh Giddey. And based off that contract, yes, there is an option for Josh Giddey, but where is the disconnect right now? You're getting that money, you're getting at least or almost $50 million guaranteed, yet that isn't good enough. So my question is, who's in his ear telling him he's a $30 million a year player? He has no All-Star experience. He was solid in the playoffs, but not like the go-to guy the way Steph or Jimmy is. He did step it up when Steph went down, though. I'll give him that. But where is he getting this idea that he's worth more than $25 a year? I look at that and I say, okay, yeah, that is fair market value. I wouldn't have the Warriors do it, but go out and get your money. But him saying no, it just raises more and more questions. Is his family in his ear? Is his agent telling him he's worth more money than he actually is? And I just don't know. I think it's up to Kuminga to really understand that he is in a very bare free agent market. Not just this year, but it's going to continue on to next year and the summer after that. He's not going to get those days of restricted free agents getting ridiculous contracts is a thing of the past, because thanks to this new CBA, things have really tapered off in terms of high value contracts and really gone towards the way, or teams have gone the way of, I want to say, spreading the wealth. It's just as important that your top guy gets paid as the seventh or eighth guy coming off the bench, because more teams are prioritizing depth going into the postseason versus just being top-heavy teams where you have a bunch of stars up top that are paid a bunch and then a bunch of minimum contracts to fill out the roster. So it's obvious that's where the league is heading, but where does Kuminga think he's going with this? He's got his money. Maybe he doesn't want to, or he's got his money on the table. Maybe he doesn't want to be a part of the Warriors anymore, and I get it. But look, the Warriors aren't going to get fair value for you right now, because if they could only take back at most $12.5 million worth of contracts in exchange for you, and that's not fair value to them. And for you, you're not giving them any sort of way to compromise. You're just playing a hardline stance. Trade me, or I'm taking the qualifying offer. Now, with the qualifying offer, a lot of things can go wrong. Like, he could get injured. He's not going to get a good contract if he gets injured this year and spends the majority of the season on the bench recovering. So that's one reason you want to take the money now. On top of that, he might have a bad season. Like the pairing of him and Jimmy, which we know doesn't work, or at least hasn't worked so far, may continue that way, and his numbers may hurt because of it. Now, if his numbers hurt, he goes into unrestricted free agency. He may not even get $20 million. He may get 15 or even 10 if the season is that bad. So I don't get why Kuminga just wants to keep holding out and hoping that he could get a good sign and trade deal, or he takes that qualifying offer, because so many things can go wrong. And he's been offered Giddey money, which was the big thing, at least in the rumor mill, over the last week and a half, since Giddey has signed his full 4-year guaranteed contract. So I don't know what he's waiting for. Nothing better is going to come along, whether it be this summer or next summer. So take the money, and if you don't like the Warriors and they decide to trade you at the deadline, so be it. You're still $50 million richer. Stop dilly-dallying around, sign the contract, and be done with it so the Warriors can fill out the rest of the roster. We've already lost a number of players waiting for you. We don't have time to wait anymore for you because we need to fill out the rest of the roster. We're going after championships here, not just another play-in season. So get it done. But that also made me think, what is the actual market value for Jonathan Kuminga? Now, he averaged 16 and 5 last year. I don't remember how many assists. I think it was like 3 or 4. Those are solid numbers. But the contract he was currently offered is basically the modern day market equivalent of what Jalen Green signed last year. Now, Jalen Green, 3 years, I believe it was 3 years, $90 million with a team option for the third year. I might be off in terms of the dollars a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. But Jalen Green had a bigger impact in terms of scoring, a little bit rebounding, as well as dishing out assists than Jonathan Kuminga did. I believe he averaged over 20 a game. So you got to remember, at the end of the day, the name of the game is put the ball in the bucket. And Jalen Green does that to a better effect than Jonathan Kuminga. And just being a more integral part of the Rockets offense also gave him that pay bump. Now we look at the market, it's slowly going down in terms of how much your star players are getting paid, and as well as your players who are on not so much stars but have the potential to be stars, but you're not sure if they're going to reach that just yet. We saw that Cade Cunningham did get a max rookie extension, so there is, I guess, a reason for Kuminga to believe that he can get that level of contract, but his current play hasn't really warranted that kind of money. So I understand where the Warriors are coming from, but Kuminga really has to understand his market value and understand the market as a whole. Constantly listening to your agent, whose main goal is to get you your biggest contract, which is understandable, but not like being this much of a holdout to the point where it could turn other teams off, especially as the market becomes more bearish, and teams decide to start spending less money on not unproven star free agents like Kuminga. You can't guarantee that you're going to get a contract like that come next summer or the summer after that, and that's what bugs me. Because like Jalen Green, Kuminga could get traded for a star player and have a fresh start elsewhere come the trade deadline or next summer. But he's not getting fair value return, or the Warriors aren't getting fair value return as of right now, and that's really what's holding everything up. Had that rule in the CBA where you can only take back half the money you're sending out for a restricted free agent not be in that current CBA, then he would definitely have already been traded. But unfortunately, that just isn't the case right now. So Kuminga should just continue to understand what his market and actually go out on his own and understand how his free agency has overall affected what the market is going to be next year. So Kuminga, you got to sign the deal. Just be done with it, take the cash while you have it, and move on from there. Now, there is another interesting free agent that's out there that I didn't even think about until recently when the Knicks worked him out, and that is Alex Len. Now, you remember last year, Alex Len, I wanted him to be a Warrior when he was bought out, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But now he's a free agent. He's working out with the Knicks, and I think he could be an option at the 5 for the Warriors should the Knicks decide not to sign him. Because let's look. Alex Len, he's a solid 8-8 guy, and he's really been a steady 8-8 guy for every team he's played for since coming into the league in 2010, or I believe it was 2013. 2011 was Jonas Valanciunas. 2013 was Alex Len. Okay. I always get those two confused. I have no idea why. But, it's Jan Vesely. That's who I always get confused with Alex Len. Not Valanciunas and his giant beard. But anyway, he's a 7-footer. He averages 8-8 and fits into that big man role. And he can really work and pound with those guys like Gobert, like DeAndre Ayton, like Joker, like Alperen Sengun, like Anthony Davis. And that's a big plus for the Warriors. Say they re-sign Kuminga, they bring him back, They signed Seth Curry. They signed Al Horford. They bring in Alex Len. They got another 7-footer on that roster in that three-man center rotation, with the occasional Draymond in the small ball lineup playing the center as well. So I like the idea of bringing him in because he may not be able to shoot the three as well as, say, some other centers, but it takes the pressure off of Al Horford when he does sign. So I like that signing. I want to see the Warriors bring him in if the Knicks don't sign him, and that'll just be a great plus for the team. But again, bottom line is the ball's in Kuminga's court. I can't sympathize with him any more than I already have, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't sympathized that much, but now he has the offer he wants on the table. Originally, when the 2-year $45 million deal was on the table, he just wanted the option removed to get that guaranteed money. Now that he has that 2 years of guaranteed money, that's almost $50 million, there's just the team option for the third, he's still got a problem. He assumes that he's going to be with the team that he doesn't want to be with through a trade. Now, if he wants to become the star of a team, he has to go to a team that isn't that great. He's not going to become a star of a team that is great because teams that are great already have their established star. And he's going to be a supporting player with that team rather than the nucleus/focal point of the offense, which he wants to be. So as of right now, he's got to sign that 2+1 deal if he really wants to become a star. Because if he's traded, he's going to be traded in any potential package for another star that helps the Warriors win another championship. So if Kuminga really wants to be the guy, he needs to sign this contract and just end this stalemate because enough is enough. And if you want to get what you want, you got to play ball. Now, that's all we have today for Warriors Latest. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoyed the show. And if you have any ideas on who Kuminga could be traded for on that 2+1 deal come the trade deadline, feel free to comment below, as I'd love to hear your ideas and love to get thoughts on what players might become disgruntled come this February. And as always, go Dubs.